Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare Rama
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Hare
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 Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Ashwin, for the wonderful
Krishna.
Mangala Charan. Hare Krishna. So today we have among us, our mentor for today will be Madan Gopal Das Prabhuji, joining us all the way from New Jersey in USA. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. On behalf of everybody from this group, we'd like to pay our humble obeisances, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, your mic is not on. We are seeing a telephone, mobile.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you. We can't see you, but we
Okay,
can
good.
hear you.
Oh, you cannot see me? Oh, I see. Yeah, see, that's why I joined by phone. My signal is very weak. So
It's okay,
I'm
Prabhuji.
not in my house right now. So, but you can hear me, that's important, right?
Very clear, Prabhuji. So on behalf
Okay,
of
great.
everybody, we'd like to welcome you to our group once more. And Prabhuji, we are reading the Bhagavad Gita as it is, and we have started the chapter 7. Chapter 7 is called the knowledge of the absolute. And today we are on text 3, Prabhuji. So without much ado, I'd hand it over to you, Prabhuji, and you can,
Sure.
if you want to share the screen. Soni Mataji, I have a call. Kindly take over just for a minute.
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah. So we will start chapter 7, verse number 3. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Okay, so I'll read the Sanskrit and English translation by Srila Prabhupada and then the purport. This is a pretty substantial verse. Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse a lot. So it'll be good if anyone interested in memorizing. This is one of the ones that are very useful to repeat and memorize. So I will just read the verse and then you can repeat after me line by line, okay? Manushya.
Manushana.
Hold on. Someone is okay. Manushyanam sahasreshu.
Manushya Sahasreshu
Kaschid yatati siddhaye.
Kaschid-yatati siddhaye
Yatatam api siddhanam.
Yatatam apsiddhanam
Kaschin mam veti tattvataha.
Kaschin-mam vedi tattvataha.
Thank you. So I'll read the translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Purport. Actually, before purport, I'll read this verse again. Please try to listen very carefully and try to understand what Krishna is saying. Okay, so just if you can mute all your microphones and just listen very carefully. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Okay, so here the word siddha is translated as one who has attained perfection. Okay, So what does that perfection mean? Now, we don't find that clear-cut answer, but Prabhupada explained in other places that perfection refers to someone who is living a purely perfect Brahminical life. Living a life of a pure Brahmana, called perfection. Okay? So, what Krishna is saying is many may try for this kind of perfection, Brahminical perfection, and very few make it, even that level. But even among those who have achieved that perfection, very few among those know me, who I am in truth, tattvataha. Okay. So now we'll read the purport. There are various grades of men, and out of many thousands, one may be sufficiently interested in transcendental realization to try to know what is the self, what is the body, and what is the absolute truth. So this is the statistics. You see, statistics of how likely it is to find somebody who is even interested in something beyond the body, who is even interested in transcendental realization, in spiritual life, proper spirituality. So these are statistics are being given that many thousands, you take many thousands of people, and out of that, one out of many thousands will have some interest to understand what is self-realization, what is the self, what is the body, what is absolute truth, what is God, what is the relationship. Generally, mankind is simply engaged in the animal propensities, namely eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. And hardly anyone is interested in the transcendental knowledge. The first 6 chapters of the Gita are meant for those who are interested in transcendental knowledge. We've already read the first 6 chapters, right? In understanding the self, the super self, and the process of realization by Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and discrimination of the self from matter. The discrimination of the self from matter means understanding how matter is separate from spirit. That is called Sankhya Yoga. However, Krishna can be known only by persons who are Krishna conscious. When someone is in Krishna consciousness, then only is Krishna accessible, then only can he be known as he is. Other transcendentalists, so when Prabhupada says other transcendentalists means other than Krishna conscious devotees, there are people who still seek to advance beyond the body. They want to know what is spirit, what is absolute truth. So those are also called transcendentalists. So here he's talking about those other ones who are not devotees. Okay? So other transcendentalists may achieve impersonal Brahman realization, for this is easier than understanding Krishna. When you recognize that absolute truth is energy, light everywhere, it's found in every atom, it's found all pervading. That is called Brahman realization. That is not as difficult or advanced as Krishna consciousness, which is a full realization. Okay, so Prabhupada explained this is easier than understanding Krishna. Why? See, Krishna is the supreme person, but at the same time he is beyond the knowledge of Brahman and Paramatma. So knowledge of Krishna includes knowledge of Brahman and Paramatma, but it is higher. But knowledge of Brahman and Paramatma does not include knowledge of Krishna. See? Bhagavan, Shri Krishna. The yogis and the jnanis. Yogis are the ones who try to go for Paramatma realization, and the jnanis are the ones that try to go for Brahman realization. The yogis and jnanis are confused in their attempt to understand Krishna. Although the greatest of the impersonalists, Sripad Shankaracharya, has admitted in his Gita commentary that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his followers do not accept Krishna as such. For it is very difficult to know Krishna, even though one has transcendental realization of impersonal Brahman. See, so that is also a level of perfection. When one has reached the perfection of understanding Brahman, become Brahman realized, he may still not know Krishna. See? So this is that perfection that Krishna is talking about. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the primeval Lord Govinda. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karan Karanam. It is very difficult for the non-devotees to know him. Although non-devotees declare that the path of bhakti or devotional service is very easy, they cannot practice it. If the path of bhakti is so easy as the non-devotee class of men proclaim, then why do they take up the difficult path? Actually, the path of bhakti is not easy. The so-called path of bhakti practiced by unauthorized persons without knowledge of bhakti may be easy. But when it is practiced factually, according to the rules and regulations, the speculative scholars and philosophers fall away from the path. Rup Goswami writes in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidindina Aikantiki Harer Bhaktir Utpata Yaiva Kalpute. Devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, and Narad Pancharatra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. It is not possible for the Brahman realized impersonalist or the Paramatma realized yogi to understand Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the son of Mother Yashoda or the charioteer of Arjuna. Even the great demigods are sometimes confused about Krishna. Muhyanti yat suraya. Mam tu vedana kashtana. No one knows me as I am, the Lord says. And if one does know him, then sa mahatma sudurlabha. Such a great soul is very rare. Therefore, unless one practices devotional service to the Lord, one cannot know Krishna as he is, tattvataha. Even though one is a great scholar or philosopher, only the pure devotees can know something of the inconceivable transcendental qualities in Krishna, in the cause of all causes, in his omnipotence and opulence, and in his wealth, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. Because Krishna is benevolently inclined to his devotees. He is the last word in Brahman realization, and the devotees alone can realize him as he is. Therefore it is said, Adah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyai sevon mukhehi jivhadau swayameva pratyada. No one can understand Krishna as he is by the blunt material senses. But he reveals himself to the devotees, being pleased with them for their transcendental loving service unto him. Bhakti Rasamrita. So, quite a lot of very important points have been made here in the verse and by Srila Prabhupada. Let us see if we can take some of them apart. So, what is the main message that Krishna is saying? In the verse, he's saying that many people may achieve a kind of perfection. Actually, out of many thousands, only one will try for perfection. Out of those many thousands such people who try, one will achieve such perfection, which is Brahman realization or Brahman, pure level of Brahman life. Correct? But among thousands of even such people, hardly one will know Krishna in truth. Hardly one will know in truth. That is the point. So, Krishna gives the statistics. In fact, we find a similar discussion where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it also starts from very high level. He said there's so many kinds of living entities in this world. 8,400,000 species. Among those, there's thousands and millions of birds and thousands of millions of insects and trillions of, little life and creatures. Among those, a few, only a small percent are actually humans. And among those humans, only a very small percent are civilized. Among those who live in civilized systems, only a very few actually understand how to behave. Even among civilized, how to, what to do, what not to do in terms of sin and not sin. And among those, only a few will have any sort of inclination to advance in spiritual life. Among those, only a few will actually succeed in reaching any level of advancement or perfection. Among those, only a few will understand who Krishna is, who Bhagavan Shri Krishna is. See, so that means the pure devotee or even the devotee who makes an attempt is very, very rare. Therefore, if we find ourselves in this situation, that we are inquisitive about who Krishna is, we are curious about what is our relationship with Krishna, we are driven from within to ask these questions in a deep, fundamental way, not in a sociological or a show-off kind of way. Let me impress other people, but in a very deep, existential manner that will shake the very foundation of our understanding of the world and clarify it to the degree that we can understand fully what is our purpose in life. And finally, we'll feel some satisfaction and happiness. Why I'm here, why I'm in this situation, who is God, what is my relationship with God, is there a relationship, what is the purpose of life, what does it have to do with the fact that I'm looking for happiness when this world is just surrounding me with miseries of all kinds. Why am I even here? So all these questions, when someone asks in a very serious way, then the Lord makes arrangements when someone is sincere to bring that person in connection with his pure teaching, the form of Bhagavad Gita. And that connection happens through the medium of a pure devotee or representatives of a devotee, pure devotee who are sharing this knowledge with others, or giving Krishna consciousness to others. And we see the rarity, how rare it is to find a devotee who is advanced enough to share Krishna consciousness with others, who is practicing Krishna consciousness himself or herself. And then, on top of that, maybe hundreds of people will come to hear from such an advanced soul, someone who's dedicated his life to Krishna. And out of those hundreds and thousands who hear, maybe some will decide to take up the practice. And among those who decide to take up the practice, one will be dedicated enough to look beyond the distractions, to look beyond the pettinesses of our past conditioning, of our mental baggage that we bring along into the process. And very few will then push forward beyond all those to make a serious, sincere attempt to connect deeply with Krishna on a heart-to-heart level, and to serve the Lord with all sincerity, and to continue their progress with enthusiasm, patience, perseverance, and energy in the face of all odds. That Krishna says, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. One who realizes he is everything. He is the goal of my life. He should be the goal of everybody's life. His presence in my life is the key to all happiness. And even the moments of his absence in my consciousness is the key to all misery and disaster. Nothing else will make me happy. Nothing else will make me miserable. Absence of Krishna is the only form of misery. And presence of Krishna in my consciousness is the only form of happiness. Krishna is everything. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. That Krishna is everything for me. That person, that level of realization, if someone has reached, guarantees him the categorization of Mahatma, great soul. And actually to find such a soul is very rare. So what Srila Prabhupada is doing here in the purport is clarifying Krishna's point. And what Krishna is doing here is telling us that, look, you all are hearing this message of Bhagavad Gita, you should recognize your tremendous good fortune that your ears are here ready, open and listening with your heart to this pure message that I am giving you. Recognize your good fortune because very few even get to this point. So congratulations all of you, you have reached to this point where you are even curious to know who is Krishna. And if you go beyond this curiosity and try to apply the principle of Krishna consciousness, then that sets you in another better category also, beyond this category. So you become more and more rare until finally you reach the point of purifying our consciousness, aligning completely with Krishna's will, his desires, and in doing so, will unlock unlimited happiness within our own heart. The same happiness that we are seeking outside, we will find the well full of happiness in our own heart. We will work hard for many hours and weeks and months and years to find 2 drops of some happiness without realizing that we have a whole well, a whole ocean in our own heart of this happiness. We're thinking 2 drops outside I'll find. Outside is not where the happiness is. Krishna explains in the Gita. One who finds happiness within, that is a true yogi. That is a person who is a devotee. So, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha, very rare. Now this message of rarity is given to us to impress upon us the value of this opportunity. Remember, this is not fallen into a lap just like that. Krishna has chosen us because of some spiritual sukriti we may have done in the past. Spiritual sukriti means there's some agyata, unknown, we might have done something to deserve this great fortune. Or better yet, maybe we didn't do anything to deserve this great fortune. It's called causeless mercy. Krishna is giving us causelessly. We happen to be lucky enough to attend these kind of courses, to lend our ears and our hearts to this message of Srila Prabhupada. And recognize the rarity of it, recognize the value of it, and then when you recognize the value of it, then we will take very good care of it. We will apply it with the proper amount of seriousness that it deserves, so that we can make some tangible progress. So that is the message over here. Now another point of this message is there are levels of spiritual advancement. One level is the Brahman realization, which is what Krishna is referring to. That even those who are Brahman realize, hardly anybody will know me, Krishna, Bhagavan. So to contrast that, Prabhupada writes this. The last purport he writes towards the end. Only the pure devotees can know something of the inconceivable transcendental qualities in Krishna. Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the one who is the cause of all causes. He is the one who is full of omnipotence and opulence. In fact, the word Bhagavan means full of all opulence. What are the opulences? Wealth, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, renunciation. Now, Prabhupada explains in the purport, he said that it is not possible for us who are conditioned soul to realize Bhagavan, see him. Even other religions recognize this. God is so great, we cannot see him with our eyes. We cannot feel him with our hands. We cannot hear him, we cannot hear his voice. Because we are material bodies. And God is way above us. He cannot be seen, he cannot be heard, he cannot be understood. If somebody says they can see God, they are wrong. So even some religionists make this point. God cannot be understood. And Prabhupada agrees, he brings up the point highlighting that. And this is the last verse he quotes in the purport, is this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. Ata Shri Krishna Ramadi na bhaved grahyam indri. Na bhaved means it's not possible. It's not possible to understand Krishna, his name, his form, his activities. It's not possible with our senses. We cannot grab him. We cannot grasp him. Grahya. Grahya means to grasp. With our indriyai. And what is the point? If God cannot be seen, cannot be found, he cannot be understood, he cannot be related with, might as well not be there only. Might as well I be an atheist, because I can't have a relationship, I can't see him, I cannot connect with him if he is not connectable through my senses. I've mentioned this several times before that, the question is not whether God exists. The question is God available? Because if he's not available, he might as well not exist. And here we're saying, Ata Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahi nindri. He cannot be grasped with our senses. Then how is it possible for me to appreciate, see, relate, perceive God, Krishna? It is possible when the perception comes from Krishna's side, when he reveals himself. If he wants, then it's possible. But no matter how much we want, if Krishna doesn't want, we'll never see him. But if he wants, we will certainly see him. This is it. Sevan mukhe hi jivhado swayam eva spuratyada. Spurati means he manifests, he reveals himself. Swayam, himself. Seva unmukhe hi jivhado. That for a devotee who has dedicated his own senses to serve the Lord, starting with the tongue, jivhado. Jiva means tongue, ado means tongue, etc. Tongue and all the other senses. Tongue, eyes, ears, hands, legs, everything we use for Krishna's service. And we saturate our life, mind, body, words in serving the Lord sincerely. Then he will reveal himself. That is the nature of his mercy. Nature of mercy is to extend itself to one who is seeking it sincerely. And we show how sincere we are in seeking by developing a taste for serving, starting with the tongue. Key of all this access to God, believe it or not, is through the tongue. Krishna Prasad, and singing and talking only about Krishna, only his names, his glories, his pastimes. If we do those things, the Lord is so mercifully inclined to become Sevan Mukhehi Jivado Swayam Eva Pratyada. He himself reveals. Otherwise, it is not possible. So he's right. God cannot be seen. God cannot be accessed through our mundane conditioned senses. It doesn't mean it's impossible. It is possible through this process of Krishna consciousness. When one goes beyond Brahman realization, beyond Paramatma realization, works very hard in practicing the Bhakti Yoga process for Bhagavan realization, and the Lord, out of his causeless mercy, gives us access to him and opens up our opportunities tremendously. So thank you very much. That's a summary of this point, and we can now have some discussion and some questions or comments.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much. Mansi Ganga Mataji, you would like to comment?
Yeah, I'm trying to get in. I finally got. Is Madan Gopal punishing us for not being on the video just because we do not reciprocate? Or has he got some technical problem? Besides, I hear he's in Florida, right? I
am undergoing some technical issues because I'm in Florida.
Oh yeah, okay. Then you're forgiven.
Yeah.
I was thinking, is it punishing us or showing us how it is in person? I felt, oh God, how can I hear him without seeing him? Anyway.
No. I'm rewarding you by not showing you my face. If I'm showing you my face, that is punishment.
Oh yeah, we believe that. Anyway.
So this discussion has led me to think about Mayavadis who just believe in the effulgence. They don't see the whole person, then they don't get the taste. So
you can see.
This is a good example when I'll be trying to explain it to my family. This is a very good example. Thank you. Avinash
and Darsh and Harsh, what's her name? Soni's friend. Sonal, she is there with us all the way from India. You know, so I'm grateful and thankful that she said she'd come and she has come. Anyway, I'll hand over to people who are burning with questions for this powerful verse. Hi, Bal.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
We also have Kita who has joined us. So welcome to this group, and Pranali. has joined us again. So welcome to this group. Yes, so we have a question. The hand is raised for Avinash Prabhuji. So Avinash Prabhuji will ask the question and then Ravi Prabhuji will ask the question second.
Hare
Avinash
Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I'm just the question is only few actually realize the Lord. Or we say actually the Dullabha Manava, you know, we get this birth as a human being is very, you know, we are very fortunate to have this birth as a human being. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself actually said that he is delivering this mercy to everyone, and we are supposed to deliver this, you know, distribution of books regularly of Prabhupada. So I just, my question is actually, we are trying to actually to encourage loads and loads of people to join our movement. So I just wanted to relate that to this verse actually. Your comments on that.
Okay, so connection between our project, our goal of sharing Krishna consciousness with as many people as possible, while also understanding that Krishna is explaining here, it is very rare. It is very rare. So the rarity will always be there, in the sense that to find even one soul who is genuinely interested in Krishna consciousness and who ends up developing a strong desire and practice of Krishna consciousness, to find one person is very rare. But whose duty is it to find? It is the duty of those who know the value and share it with others. I am very fortunate, I feel, because I found Krishna consciousness. Anybody who found Krishna consciousness, they feel very fortunate that somebody gave them Prabhupada's book, somebody introduced them to the process, to the philosophy, to the prasadam, to the kirtan. They feel very fortunate. Now, you can think of how many millions of people have tasted ISKCON Krishna prasadam, millions around the world. How many millions and millions have heard Hare Krishna Mahamantra? How many millions have touched Srila Prabhupada's book? And out of those millions, some have read it. But not everybody took up the process of Krishna consciousness. Some threw it away. Some completely disregarded it. Some said, it is very nice, but it's not for me, not now. You know, so like that, not everybody takes it. So these statistics will always remain intact. But doesn't mean that we don't continue a project. I'll give you one example. You know, and I'll give you an example from my own life, okay? You know, diamonds are very expensive. You know, just the 1 carat diamond, 5 carat diamond, 10 carat diamond, you know, carats, right? We use carats to measure the weight of diamond. They're so expensive, thousands of dollars, depending on the quality. And weight for weight, 1 diamond. Then the other kind of gemstones also, rubies, colored ones, red ones. Red ones are called these red rubies. Ruby is like 10 times more expensive than diamond, weight for weight, if it's a very clear ruby. And even more than that is emeralds, the green ones. Green ones are like 10 times more expensive than rubies, weight for weight. Very, very costly. And emeralds, they're found in some places in Africa, especially in Zimbabwe and Zambia. In Zambia, the emeralds. And my family was involved in emerald mining many years ago. And I used to visit there, and I used to see the mines there. And so many big holes they would dig, huge pits, with many big machines. I know one of the machines they used just to dig it was costing, you know, more than $1 million. And there are so many machines like that. They would dig these massive pits only for one handful of emeralds. So one may ask, why are you making such a big hole for just one handful of emeralds? Because we need huge tons and tons of bucket full of dirt to find one emerald. That is the ratio of statistics. Doesn't mean we don't seek the emerald. We'll still work hard to find them. We will still dig and dig and dig, because once you hit that handful, you know, your whole year's payroll is covered completely. You make a lot of money. Similarly, rarity will always be there. Statistics will always remain that a person who takes up Krishna consciousness is very rare. But doesn't mean that the miner doesn't keep mining. You see, so we who have taken up this process of finding these emeralds, these diamonds for Krishna, we have to continue the process of digging. Digging means sharing with many people, as sincerely, as lovingly, as caringly as possible. When we create an environment of care and love for everybody, then people will realize, no, this is Krishna consciousness is beyond something. It's not something material. It is a very caring, loving, genuine spiritual process. When we create that environment and we practice Krishna consciousness in that environment, then it increases our efficiency in finding these diamonds, in making sure that they remain in the process. So the rarity will be always there. Statistics will remain the same. You see, not everybody we share with will take it up. But it doesn't mean we don't continue mining. We are miners. You see, that is our business. It's our family business. And so, because we know the value. I hope this analogy helps, Prabhu.
Yes, thank you. And also other thing is, we say about 10,000 golden years. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us now. This is the opportunity to take advantage of 10,000 golden years. So how this is related as well.
Yes. So not everybody may understand what is this 10,000 years of golden age. Sometimes, if you've seen winter, especially here in America, winter can be very heavy. There are 4 seasons, right? There's spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Winter is very, very cold. And the temperature generally remains below freezing. Generally below 0 degrees for like weeks at a time, months at a time. And there's snow on the ground, the snow doesn't even melt. Every now and then in the middle of the winter, get a warm break. Like for a whole week, it is very warm. It's like 20 degrees plus. Very nice, very pleasant. All snow melts so quickly and you can go out, people go out for a walk, some people wearing shorts, they're running around. It's like, what happened? It doesn't look like winter anymore. Every now and then something like that happens. Not every year. Similarly, this Kali Yuga is the winter season among the 4 yugas. It is very harsh, very bitter, very hard to survive even outside. You have to take lots of precautions just to go from one place to the other. You have to wear layers and layers of jackets and gloves and hat and just to go a few meters. Otherwise, you can really get sick. So Kali Yuga is like that. This Kali Yuga is a very difficult age. Anybody who wants to make spiritual progress. Very sinful age. Very bitter, brutal. But by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and by the added mercy of Srila Prabhupada, who has created an environment and a movement of opportunity, spiritual opportunity, where it is possible to abundantly grow in Krishna consciousness, even more than other yugas. Right in the middle of this worst yuga, it is like a warm wave right in the middle of a brutal winter. So now this wave of 10,000 years, which is started, just a few years ago, as predicted by Prabhupada himself, and it is kicked off by Prabhupada by forming ISKCON. So Kali Yuga lasts 432,000 years, which is a long time. 5,000 years have already passed since Kali Yuga started. And now from this point on, around this time to another 10,000 years, there will be growth of Krishna consciousness. And there will be subsiding of the ill effects of Kali Yuga tremendously. And lots of people will take up this positive process. We have to do our part to make sure that happens. So it's a 5-year growth, a 5,000-year incline, and then the last 5,000 years will decline. Then gradually towards the end of that 10,000-year period, then the whole Kali Yuga will take full force. So now to answer your question, how does this relate? So again, it relates to the 2 things that we need to impress upon ourselves. The rarity of Krishna conscious opportunity, and the second one, a sense of urgency of making sure that, I need to take up this Krishna consciousness process so deeply and so sincerely that I don't leave it to chance end of my life, I should come back again in this Kali Yuga. I should make it so that in this one lifetime I can go back home, back to Godhead. Because if I come back and I have to take a few more births, 10,000 years moves very quickly, you know, and I may be stuck in the heaviest part of Kali Yuga. I don't want to be here. So two things are what? Understand the rarity of it, which means you take it more seriously, and understand the sense of urgency. Again means take our consciousness, Krishna consciousness more seriously, more deeply, more intensely, so that it is possible. It is possible to make quick progress by the mercy of the Lord, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, mercy of Guru, mercy of progressive devotees. It is very possible and also very likely. The Cheto Darpana Marjanam process in this cleansing of the mirror of our heart, of our mind. And the cleansing process will succeed based on two factors. One factor is how dirty is the mirror to begin with, and second factor is how intensely and efficiently am I cleaning the mirror. So if it's very dirty but I'm working very hard, efficiently and sincerely, then my mirror will get clean. If my mirror is just a little bit dirty but I don't do very seriously, it will remain dirty for many lifetimes. So it is up to us to seek the mercy of the Lord and to give it all we have got. When we give it all we have got, the Lord gives us all He has got. And that is how mercy works. And so it will help us realize this 10,000 year period, right? So just a short time window, because they move very fast when you're talking about multiple lifetimes, you know. So that's what we have to learn. Take advantage of it, but also be positive and hopeful, because good things are coming. You know, Kali Yuga looks like it's getting worse and worse, but there are many good things. ISKCON is growing like anything. Many devotees are taking up the process. Many more devotees are becoming vegetarian. Even non-devotees become vegetarian. In America, I'm meeting so many people who don't eat meat anymore. You know, so the sinful level is going down a little bit. People are less interested. Even drugs usage is going down in some places. So things are positive. You know, we only hear negative things, but we can see the positive effects of Krishna consciousness in the world. All right.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the elaborate answer. And very nice class as well. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ravi Prabhuji, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Kindly unmute.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Madan Gopal. It's good to hear you again.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
And can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you totally. I
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes, yes. So in Florida, I hope you have gone to welcome President Trump coming to Mar-a-Lago. Will you be there to welcome? Oh, you can't hear me anyway.
No, that's not what I went for.
Anyway, that was just a side. Now, why you actually answered my question, as you were saying, but this mission impossible which Krishna has given us, and describe it so difficult. It is so discouraging. As you also said, no, you didn't say so, but you were saying we should embark on it regardless. But this is mission impossible. To find him 10,000 years, to dig for that emerald with all that, it's not on, is it?
Yeah. So, Srila Prabhupada said that the word impossible is only found in the Fool's Dictionary.
Found one.
That's why, yeah, so that's why Prabhupada said this many times. He said we should never consider this impossible. And another point he said, spiritual life is very difficult, but material life is impossible. You see the point? Impossible means it is not possible to find happiness in material life. Spiritual life is difficult, but material life is impossible. It's not worth it at all to give up the spiritual opportunity. You see, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. If we do not take the first step because we are overwhelmed and intimidated by the prospect of walking 1,000 miles, we will never make progress, because 1,000 miles seems impossible. But coming back to the purport of the verse, it is impossible to see Krishna. But what does Krishna do? He makes it possible. He is the one who reveals himself. We cannot dig him out. He is the emerald who digs himself out and comes in front of us. That is who Krishna is. We take one baby step in that 1,000-mile journey, Krishna will walk 999 miles toward us. He will do the walking, and the impossible becomes the possible. Why? How does that happen? By the mercy of Krishna and by the mercy of Guru. Even impossible things become possible. Right? Mukam karoti vachalam. Mukam karoti vachalam means even people who have never spoken because they can't speak, they can speak by the mercy of the Lord. Pangum langayate girim. The people who have no legs, they can cross over mountainous ranges. Giri. Giri means mountains. Pangum langayate, cross over with ease. Yet kripatamaham vande, for the mercy of the Lord. Paramananda Madhavam, Sri Guru Dinataranam. Mercy of Madhava and by the mercy of Sri Guru is possible. So yes, impossible things are made possible by Krishna, by his mercy. So what is then left for us to do? We have to do the difficult task of just convincing ourselves. That's all. What is the difficulty is within our heart only. Actually, that is the most difficult part. The actual process is not difficult. Difficult part is to deal with the rascal mind that is trying to justify turning away from Krishna. Turning towards Krishna is the most natural thing for us, like breathing. Turning toward Krishna is the cause of our happiness. And the process is easy. Eating prasadam, is that difficult? No. Singing Hare Krishna, is that difficult? No. Chanting on the beats, maybe sometimes difficult, but it's a very pleasant process, meditative. Getting together, discussing things, is that difficult? No. Reading one nice philosophies, nice stories, Krishna book, is that difficult? No. Forget about impossible, it's actually quite easy and quite pleasant. Attending festivals, looking at the darshan of the deity form, is that difficult? No. In fact, difficult to look away from Krishna, because it's so beautiful. So the process is very susukham kartamavayam, very joyfully performed. But the difficulty lies within our mind, which is shackled to this illusory idea that I can be happy without Krishna. That is only difficulty. Otherwise, there is no difficulty. Everything else, after that, becomes very easy. We have to convince ourselves. That's all.
Thank you, Madan Gopal. Really enlightening. Very enlightening. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Haribo.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Are there any other comments or questions?
What happened to Divyesh today? And both the answers were excellent. The analogy of digging the emerald, as he was talking, I thought, he comes from the family, so he has to give this analogy. But the way he explained it was $1 million, Manushya Nam Sahasreshu. And even this one, about, it seemed like 10,000 step, but you have to start and Krishna will walk towards perfect answers. I'm surprised how others have kept quiet. I thought there'd be a million questions. I want to get off.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. This has been so well explained. That's why there are no questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
thank you very much for this opportunity. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Is it
Thank you,
Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. I am waiting someone who supposed to ask the question. It is a very nice verse and important verse also. Many lectures given by Prabhupada and other Guru Maharaj. It is like a Jada Jada Hi Dharma. So this is also famous verse. The thing is that Prabhuji were giving a wonderful class and wonderful lecture also on that. The thing is that here it is called the Tattvata, means like a by jnana, in fact. Okay. So here we can understand that the Krishna consciousness is a devotional service, the devotee. So who will attain this liberation, a devotee or a jnani? So can you please explain?
Yeah, it's a good question. And a lot of the times there's confusion with the word of jnani. And what is a jnani and what is a vijnani? Now, generally, the word jnani in the context used in the purport here, when you say yogis and jnanis, it is a very specific definition of the word jnani. In this context, the word jnani refers to one who is cultivating impersonal knowledge. Okay. Doesn't mean that devotees are ajnanis. No, no. Devotees are beyond jnanis. Devotee includes jnani. And devotee practices what is called vigyan. Gyan is theoretical understanding, and vigyan means applied, realized science. Therefore, devotee already includes, like Bhagwan realization already includes the jnana process, because it goes beyond Brahman, and it already includes the yoga process which is aimed at Paramatma. Because Bhagwan includes both Paramatma and Brahman. Therefore, this tattvataha, to know me in truth, veti tattvataha, that in truth means as I am in completeness. Right? That is the only accessible and applicable to one who is practicing Bhakti Yoga. If you remember the first verse of this chapter, right? Krishna, he opens this chapter. He says, Maya sattamanapaatha yogam yunjan madashraya asamshayam samagram mam yatha gyashri tatshranu. That if you understand this from me now here, he says, O son of Pritha, asamshayam, you will understand it without a doubt, and samagram. Samagram means completely. So when you understand Krishna completely, it is not possible unless you understand Bhagwan form. Samagra cannot be applied to Brahman or Paramatma realization, because they are not samagra. That is partial. Only Bhakti Yoga can give you samagra. And asamshaya, without a doubt. Not that I have some doubt. No, no. Solid faith. Solid faith and complete picture is available only through the process of bhakti and only through the process of Bhagavan realization. Then only can you say tattvata. Then only the jnani will have proper jnana. Otherwise it is incomplete jnana. It is not samagra jnana. It is only partial jnana. So we have to make sure we understand the context of the word jnana, where it is being used, and jnani especially. Is it referring to someone who is in full knowledge, or is it referring to someone who is on the process of impersonal realization? So that word jnani, you have to make sure you understand what context it is being used, so that we don't confuse ourselves.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, nice. Also, here another thing is that Krishna told Manmana Bhava Madbhakta, everything he is telling here. And also here telling one thing again, Manushyanam Sahaseshu Kaschit Jatasi, that is very, very rare to devotional services. How it is contradictory? Krishna told here, you can come, and also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, Jara Dekho Tare Kara Krishna Upadesh. And here it is told, very, very impossible and very Kaschit Jatasi, that is very rare to someone is come, know to Krishna in fact.
Yes, it is very rare, and that is why I gave that example, that our duty is to Krishna Upadesh. Our duty is to give Krishna to everybody. Now, not everybody will take up Krishna consciousness. We know that. But we don't know who will take and who will not. That we don't know. You see. Sometimes even the drunkards will take it up, and someone who is very refined gentleman, he will not take it up. But drunk man will take it up. We didn't know that. So we give it to everybody we see. Now, I give it to 10,000 people. Out of the 10,000, maybe 10 people will take it. So that is correct also. You see, there's no contradiction there. Jare rakho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. That means 10,000 people you gave it this year. But out of 10,000, you know, I know, Krishna knows that maybe 10 people will take it. Right? Manushya sasechu kashi siddhaye. So only, but our job is to make sure we keep spreading the seeds. Throw the seeds on all the ground we see. We throw the seeds everywhere. And then some ground the seed will sprout, some ground there will no sprout, some ground will sprout a little bit and some will crush it, some there's no water, and some places it will grow very quickly. That is Krishna's responsibility. So we do our responsibility, Krishna does his responsibility, but ultimately, why it is so rare? Because this is the world of illusion. This is the world of rebellious souls, people who have turned away from Krishna. It's like going into a big prison house where there's 100,000 prisoners. And it is our job to find, out of the 100,000 prisoners, 10 prisoners who are sincere enough to change their life and come out of prison. But we don't know who they are. We don't know who will change their life. We don't know who will work hard to prove that they don't belong in prison anymore. Why the chances are so less? Because the prisoners are in prison because they are criminals. To find good people among a population of criminals is very rare. And I said, Manushyanam says the issue, you see. But still it is our job to do the preaching work, to find those who want to turn and give them the vehicle, the opportunity, the facilities, the help and support. Because somebody gave it to us. Prabhupada gave me this opportunity. How can I pay back to Srila Prabhupada? I can't pay him back with money. I need to do pay it forward. You don't pay it back. You do what he did. Take my money and use it to print books because he used his money to print books. I'll take my money, print books, and share it with others because he shared with others. That's how you pay it back. So our job is to keep sharing as intelligently as possible. And Krishna's job is to bring us out.
Thank you very much,
I hope that
Prabhuji.
helped.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thanks.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare Bo.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji, Avinash Prabhuji has a question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Avinash Prabhu.
Yeah, I just
How are
wanted
you?
to ask something. Okay, thanks. Yeah, thank you. I just wanted one clarification here. It's just, when we say that if one is a devotee, people within the next generations and the previous generations, they get liberated. So, sometimes you are a pure devotee and your generation after they get liberated, generation before also get liberated. So how does this apply in this sort of instance?
Yes. It's a family discount that's given by the Lord. Sometimes they have family discount. If I'm a member, if I'm VIP member of shop, sometimes there is membership shop. But if you're a VIP member, or they have a frequent flyer club, where you're a VIP member, I've flown so many millions of miles on, Kenya Airways, they give me VIP card. And then with my VIP card, they also issue 7 family discount VIP cards also. So then basically 7 of my members, I give it to my kids and my cousins, everybody. They can also use it, go Kenya Airways first class to Paris, come back. They didn't do anything, but because they're related to me, they get it because I like them. So whatever. So the Lord is very liberal, very lenient in these things. At the same time, he also makes sure that the souls get purified. There is a little bit of a contradiction in understanding this. The Lord never forces anybody to be liberated. Now I can give this card, VIP frequent flyer card, to all my cousins, all 7 of them, but maybe only 5 will use it. The other 2 won't even use it because they have the freedom to not use it. But they have the card. So that is how it works. By being related to a devotee, I have the opportunity very easily. The Lord will come at the end of my life. You want to come with me or you want to stay? I can say, okay, I'll stay. Okay, no problem. But next time, if you want to come, you have the discount card. So the Lord is very lenient. At the same time, the Lord never forces anybody to go into the kingdom of God. Kingdom of God is meant for those who want to go. The Lord never forces. Devotees try to force sometimes. Force maybe works sometimes, doesn't work. But the Lord never forces. Therefore, the devotee is actually considered more kind than the Lord. Why? because the Lord has taken a promise to not interfere in anybody's free will. The devotee has not taken such a promise. See, the devotee will say, no, I will interfere, I will disturb people, I will make sure they wake up. I don't care. I didn't take any such promise. So then the Lord is very pleased because the devotee knows the heart of the Lord. And the Lord wants everybody to come back to his house. You know, the devotee tries as much as possible to share it. But yeah, so this family discount is available, you know, but that's how it works.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Can I make a comment on this one about how the generations are also liberated?
Yes, please.
From my personal understanding, you know, your niece will say, oh, my Hare Krishna Masi, my Hare Krishna Nani. You know, I have Muslim families who will say, Mommy, your Hare Krishna sister has called you. So, and we understand how the holy name is so powerful. And, you know, my brother would say, oh, purposely pass the chariot near, you know, the Meridian Hotel, Madan Gopal. He used to think I purposely do it and I'd stop it just because he's there. But the fact is that he would see the chariot year in, year out. So that's my realization. Somehow Krishna arranges that these souls who are connected with you get some kind of Krishna consciousness by way of prasadam, by way of, you know, whichever way. So it seems very possible. Of course, you gave a very good example about the tickets. Kenya Airways don't give, but British Airways and others do give. Families.
Yeah.
Kenya Airways only gives immediate family. My brother was with Kenya Airways. His wife and children didn't get after the age of 18. Only the wife can get, even though he's passed away. But British Airways and American Airlines probably give to the rest of the family also. Anyway, I personally am quite convinced that 14 generations can be liberated if somebody becomes a pure devotee.
Oh, totally. Definitely. Even in the past. Yeah. And that's this, it's written in the Shastra, it's written in the scriptures. And so we take it on that faith. And that is the nature of the Lord. The Lord is looking for opportunities to give us deliverance. You know, just like, when we do mathematical exams, and some teachers are very lenient in the grading. Some teachers are very strict, some teachers are very lenient. Some teachers are so lenient, even it's just a little bit of work to show you sort of understand how the problem is supposed to be solved. They give you the full credit. It looks like you understood mostly. I'll give you everything. And some teachers, even if you get everything right, but you made one comma mistake, they'll take out some points. Krishna is not like that. Krishna is very lenient. If he sees you have some sincerity, he will give you the full credit. And Mahaprabhu is even more lenient. Even if you are a rascal, he'll give it to you. You know, Jagai Mada is the first one who will get mercy. Like that. So that is our good fortune that we have such lenient masters, and we just take the advantage of that situation and take their mercy upon us. Yeah. So, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for your time. I hand over to Path Prabhuji. Path Prabhuji, kindly.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. We are in the nice verse, and also we get the nice speaker, very elaborate. We are hearing this one, and I hope all the devotees who join in this group, they can understand this one, how it is very rare of a devotional service to become a devotee, but Krishna giving us so many chances by his devotees and his disciples and so many things, so we can be progress in this path in devotional service, then we can successful our human life. Thank you very much, Madan Gopal Prabhuji. Also, I thanks the same time the devotee who join across the world. I request everyone, please unmute yourself and chant Hare Krishna mantra once. So please join. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Vancha kalpa tarubhyo kripa sindhu bhyayavate Pitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. His Grace Madan Gopal Prabhuji ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada
Srila
ki
Prabhupada
jai.
ki.
Jai.
Jai. Samveta Bhaktavinda ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank
Hari
you.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hari
Thank
Bol.
you. Thank you all for the opportunity. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.